I'm going to tell you a little story about my mom. Her name was Clara Scott. Her nickname was Lou. And she was with us 88 years. And if she was living today, she'd be 99. And she married my dad, which was Woodrow Scott, on December the 8th, 1943, and they celebrated 64 years of marriage. And she was the mother of 5 children, 2 girls and 3 boys. And then she had 2 infants that died death. And when I think of my mom, I think of a caring person, which she was. She was always there, just right when you needed her. And I often thought about, too, how we got to and from church. Mom or Dad neither drove. Us children were small. But there was always somebody that came along and said, do you need a ride to church? Amen. We was always in church. Amen. Sometimes we didn't get to go as a whole family. Sometimes just a couple of us would go. But I nearly always try to go with my dad. Amen. And sometimes with my mom. But it was just a pleasure to do that. People, if you can help somebody by taking them to church, amen, go grab them up and bring them. Amen. And then I thought, too, then my sister, she was getting married and she learned to drive. So we had a vehicle. And then when she got married, it fell on me, so I had to go get my operators, and I had to learn to drive. Well, then I was going to get married. Now what was going to happen? My mom had to learn to drive. And that's when my mom learned to drive. We all helped her, and she would take people to church. Amen. That's what she done. Amen. She loved to go to church. Amen. She was a good Christian lady, and if you'd meet her at the door of the church, she'd give you a hug, a handshake, maybe a kiss on the cheek, whatever was coming that day. She had it for you. And she learned to play the piano and the guitar, and she could sing. Amen. And she'd done that a lot of times. She would go and sing. And he was talking about the Bible that's buried out there. Before I let him have the Bible, I went through it, and I marked through it where all the Bible had been. It had been in 38 different churches. Wow. Now, that's a lot of churches. Amen. My mom and dad, if there was a revival, they tried to be there. If there was a revival in the area that they thought they were safe to go, they went. Amen. And God blessed them for it so many ways. And let's see what else I have on here. And she loved Pastor Stanley and his family. She loved to see you come. She really did. It just was an uplift for her and Dad when they were getting older. And they were mostly basically at home in their later years. And what they done, and that's what I'm going to do when I get older. I'm going to be a prayer warrior. That's Amen. What I'm going to be. Because that's what my mom and dad was. If you had a need, tell my mom and dad. Amen. I'll tell you, they would pray for you now. And when we were going through things of our moms, my sister and I found a poem we had no idea she had written. And so we had it put on the back of her obituary thing. So I'd like to share it with you. And my mom and dad loved Cheat Mountain. Amen. If they were going for a drive, it was up Cheat Mountain Amen. To be along the river, or maybe they'd take a fishing pole, or maybe they'd take a picnic lunch Amen. And go. I've seen them do it. It says, the title of the poem is Back in the Hills. I may need my glasses for this. Way back in the hills, we call it Cheat Mountain. We'll share it with you. There's plenty of room. We get close to heaven when we get down to pray. Oh, sinner, come in, get on the right way. I'm telling you now, get ready today. He's coming from heaven to take us away. In robes of pure white, for whatever will be, mansions of purest waiting for me. I'm waiting to live in that beautiful city. My mother is there, she's waiting for me. My dad was old-fashioned, a hard-working man. God called him to heaven to be in the band. The old-fashioned preacher will be there. I know we'll sing and we'll shout. The power came down and bless our soul. In heaven we'll be and never grow old.